Hey guys, what's going on? Steven back again, and I'm back with another 40k video from Major Kill. You know, I feel bad for only doing Major Kill videos. Granted, his videos are really damn good. I just don't know really who else to watch. You know, I do know about Luton, but I think some of his videos can be pretty long, like 40 plus minutes, I guess depending on the topic of the video. So I'm not sure really how I'd be able to do a video like that. I guess I could split it up into multiple parts, but with the holidays coming, I could do part one, but I might not get to part two for like 2 weeks or something like that. And then it's like, well, what the hell happened in part one? I don't remember since it was so long ago. I guess I could do it as one full-length video, but according to YouTube, most people only watch like 10-15 minutes of my videos, so it just kind of seems like it'd be a little silly to do a 40-minute video if most people only watch 10-15 minutes. So I don't know if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I did come across this channel here, Raven Rock Entertainment. There is a 40-part series, I'm guessing. If you know anything about it, let me know. Is it worth watching? Is it good? It's part 38, the 13th Black Crusade. Part 37, the Time of Ending. Part 33, Saints and Beasts. Part 29, The Siege. So if you guys have heard of that channel, Raven Rock Entertainment, and if you know this Warhammer 40,000 Grim Dark lore, let me know your thoughts, and if it's worth watching. Maybe I'll start up the whole series. Maybe I'll mix it up a little, do one of those videos, do a Major Kill, just kind of mix things up a little bit. But yeah, let me know. So anyways, on to the topic of today's video. It is called How Did the Galaxy React to the Awakening of the Necrons? The Necrons, the next army I was going to play right before GW closed down our store. I was reading the codec, learning the rules, abilities, all that fun stuff. I didn't even get to buy any models. Kind of a shame. I was kind of really looking forward to the Necrons. I was really digging their models and stuff, but it is what it is. Alright, so anyways, on to the video. Here we go.
G'day guys and gal. When the Necrons begun to wake up, it was the rudest awakening for both the Necrons and the entire galaxy. The Necrons had gone to bed, predicting the Elder Empire would eventually fall, and then they would wake up and just clean up the scraps. They didn't expect the existence of a literal hell full of demons, mankind going guerrilla mode, the Elder still going pretty strong, or an endless swarm of cosmic space bugs of death. For the galaxy, they were also pretty blindsided by the emergence of the soulless space Egyptians, with technology so advanced that if it weren't for the Necrons' constant pettiness and infighting, likely would have already reduced the galaxy to ash. Needless to say, no one was particularly happy with how things turned out, but that doesn't mean everyone's reaction was the same. Some became incredibly curious with the Necrons and started to try and learn from them. Others waged vicious wars against them. Some even saw them as
curious
the Messiah.
about them.
Regardless, it makes for great content, so you are in luck, my friends. Before we get started, there is only 24 hours left before the Major Kill mini-store is taken down for the near future.
I wonder who would
I'm
be
glad
curious
to see how
about
many
them.
of you guys have jumped on the two new models, that being the Space Alexander the Great and the Space Elf Jester. But goddamn,
that is actually pretty
Space
cool looking.
Alexander the Great is going off like hotcakes, whilst the Space Elf Jester is come on, Space Elf players, how do we expect people to respect us if we don't respect ourselves? I'd say
That's
this is one of the best
cool looking
sculpts in the
model.
entire store, easy to
Not
paint
gonna
as
lie,
well.
that actually
It
looks
took me
pretty
like 5
badass. I
minutes
like
to
the
pop this up. So if you ever wanted to give the Holograms
blood,
a try, then
I'm
this guy
guessing.
is the perfect starting point. The store is full of other custom sculpts, such as the popular Kitten, the Giant Shark Daddy, the Chaotic Major Kill Team, or even the Galactic Shark Team. All this and a lot more. The STL files for these models will remain live when the physical models are taken down. And I've just uploaded the 2 new models to the pack that all current STL holders are getting for free. 24 hours, guys and gals, don't miss out. Today we'll go over how each faction within Warhammer 40k reacted to the awakening of the Necrons. Let's get into it.
okay.
Starting us off with the Imperium of Man and its various sub-factions, because as we know, mankind is the greatest race ever. Despite being on the same side, the various Imperial sub-factions struggle to always agree on stuff, rarely ever having a united front. For the Space Marines, the awakening of the Necrons introduced a new threat that must be destroyed, and they have done so with ruthless success. They spent an entire Space Marine chapter destroying a Necron world engine. The Black Templars have been fighting against and even occasionally beating Imhotep the Stormlord. Pretty much every interaction between Astartes and Necrons results in epic destruction, but not every. During an engagement between the Blood Angels and the Necrons called for a parley and actually pursued a peace treaty with the Blood Angels so that they could defeat a common foe, that being the Tyranids. After all, the Necrons may be massive fucking assholes, but they have sentience and can be reasonable.
Tyranids being a much bigger threat.
Most high-ranking Necrons have colourful personalities and are not needlessly vicious or genocidal, unless they're fighting the Orcs. It also helps that the Silent King, Lord of the Necrons, was wearing a mask moulded into the likeness of Sanguinius, and he claimed to have even been mates with the Primarch. This is probably bullshit, but it did the trick, and the two factions fought alongside each other. Guardsmen are downright terrified of the Necrons, with the Inquisition keeping the existence of the Necrons a secret to avoid morale issues. Commissar Kane has fought nearly every enemy the galaxy has to offer, multiple times, and he says with absolute certainty that the Necrons are by far the most terrifying. This is coming from a guy that has fought Tyranids, Genestealers, and demons in melee combat. The Sisters of Battle reacted similar to the Space Marines, except a bit more, Sister of Battle-y. That meaning there would be absolutely zero chance of any form of parley between the two factions, as the nuns with guns would rather take on the Necrons and Tyranids simultaneously.
Makes sense they'd react the same way as Space Marines.
The Mechanicus, however, have lubed up their hydraulic cocks and are living their best life. Despite how hypocritical it is for them to want to study Necron technology, considering nearly all other Xenotech is heresy, they do it anyway and cause a shitload of problems. Like, a fat chunk of Awoken Tomb Worlds are a direct result of Mechanicus expeditions.
Of course they would be curious.
Despite the fact that the Mechanicus are probably the most open to the Necrons and their technology,
of course they would
fighting the most battles against them. They just can't keep their shiny mechanical hands to themselves. Probably one of the funniest reactions from humans to the Necrons was when Trizin fought off orcs that were attacking a human world. He didn't do it because he wanted to save the humans, there was just an artifact on the world he wanted to protect, and the orcs were gonna fuck it up. None of the humans knew what a Necron was. To them, they had just been saved by tall metal men. Hence they built a statue of Trizin, chapter master of the Silver Skulls Astartes, who led his tall and slender marines into combat to save them. The Inquisition caught wind and was going to destroy the statue, but Trizin stole it for safekeeping before them. Overall, the Imperium sees the Necrons as another existential threat to add to the pile. However, as they are a lot more workable than Tyranids and Orcs, there is the occasional golden nugget found in the lore where the two sides aren't trying to kill each other. What about the Elder? After all, the Elder and Necrons were sworn enemies during the War in Heaven. Surely they wouldn't be too stoked about their awakening. Yeah, they fucking weren't. They knew the Necrons were still out there and even destroyed some of their tomb worlds while they slept. However, with the size of the galaxy, the arrogance of the Elder, and some cloaking tech, the Necrons were mostly left alone during their slumber. Upon their awakening, most Elder craftworlds have been avoiding their tomb worlds. However, a few have renewed their war against the Necrons in earnest and target them specifically. Surprisingly, however, the Necrons and Elder don't hate each other as much as you might think. They see each other more as worthy rivals rather than these inferior enemies. They've even teamed up on occasion to take out Tyranids and Chaos Forces, who they both see as the greater threat to the galaxy at this time. After all, both Elder and Necrons are old intelligent races. They don't have the suicidal religious zeal that the Imperium has, so they are able to prioritize their greatest threats. The Dark Elder are avoiding the Necrons. Necron slaves aren't a thing. You can't just fuck them. Well, at least not to non-Necrons. Plus, if a Dark Elder is hit with a Gauss weapon, they will be atomized and unable to be brought back from the dead, so yeah, not ideal. Exodites and Necrons are kinda similar in the fact that as long as you get the fuck off their lawn, they will leave you alone. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the Exodites didn't know the Necrons had woken up And yeah, who the fuck knows what the Harlequins think. The Tau are both in awe and horror of the Necrons. To explain, the Necrons despise the Tyranids as the Tyranids are stealing biomass that the Necrons need if they want to return to flesh and blood. As such, it's common for Necrons to flank and attack Tyranid hive fleets that are in the process of attacking Tau worlds. Sometimes the Necrons will then genocide the Tau for a laugh. Other times,
I wonder what a battle between the Tau and the Necrons would be like. Since Tau are pretty advanced too.
That will either save their
That'd
world
be an interesting
or save
fight.
their world then destroy it for the lols. It's a genuine flip of the coin, which is why the Tau have such a conflicted opinion of the Necrons and their awakening. The Orcs reacted happily enough. Necrons are another enemy for them to fight, and they don't have any memory or records of the War in Heaven, so they don't recall the old rivalry
No
they
metal
once
thing
had.
must smash.
Unfortunately for the Orcs, the Necrons do remember, and they are fucking pissed.
Uh-oh.
Orcs were built to fight Necrons, and they caused a lot of damage. Necron battle tactics and weaponry also counter the Orcs pretty hard. No bodies left over means no spore spreading. A preference for range warfare means a lot less melee combat for the Orcs. So whilst the Orcs reacted well to the arrival of a new enemy and will engage Necrons with relish, they prefer to fight other less complicated enemies, like humans. The Tyranids had a pretty interesting reaction. Although they cannot feel fear, when they arrived in the galaxy they actively avoided Necron tomb worlds. After all, the Necrons are a very, very hard counter to the Nids. They don't use the warp, so the shadow in the warp does nothing. They have no biomass, so the Tyranids can never gain a profit from attacking them. Necron weaponry completely destroys biomass, so the Tyranids can't even eat their dead. Even on the very rare occasion that a hive fleet has been able to overwhelm and beat a tomb world, they still walk away poorer as a result of it. As such, the Tyranids actively avoid the Necrons as much as possible, and probably find it a massive pain in the fucking ass that the Necrons have chosen them as their main target. I'm telling ya, the Necrons will be the ones to save the galaxy from the Nids. What about Chaos? How did they react? Not fucking well. The Necrons are the only faction right now that can genuinely perma-beat Chaos. They have fought warp gods, warp entities, and warp powers before, triumphing over all. Chaos is like a bitch version of what the old ones were capable of, and it's confirmed that if the Necrons put their mind to it, they could have closed the Eye of Terror pretty easily. They just didn't see Chaos as a big enough threat to warrant the effort. Chaos knows the Necrons are not an ideal target. They are incorruptible and deadly with a lot of anti-warp weaponry. A shit combo to fight against if you're a horny little demon. As such, there isn't much stuff in the lore about the two factions. I
like that picture.
Beyond the
Just grabbing his face.
Or Trazyn and Fabius striking a deal. So overall, the galaxy isn't too stoked about the Necrons. People either reacted with fear, anger, disgust, or curiosity. The Necrons a little bit of everything. The Nids and Chaos, which makes them ideal allies for the Imperium. But the Imperium is super racist, and the Necrons are massive arseholes, so that hasn't worked out so well. I think the biggest surprise I got from researching this is the fact that whilst the Necrons and Eldar definitely despise each other, there seems to be this rivalry, which has created this unspoken mutual respect. They'll never admit it, but the way they describe each other doesn't sound like something you'd say to an ant under your boot. More like an ancient foe who has bested you in the past, and you're kinda salty about it. In any case, there are much bigger fish to fry in the galaxy beyond a dying race of space elves or a bunch of grumpy soulless Skeletors who want people to just get the fuck off their lawns. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per month gives you access to a boatload of Battle Mace 40 million titties. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more reactful content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Okay, so there we go. There is how the galaxy reacted to the awakening of the Necrons. So basically a little bit of everything. Some fear, some curious, some excitement, a little bit of everything. So of course, Space Marines would be the way you would, expect them. New enemy, must kill. Yeah, that's pretty interesting about, the Blood Angels. Forming a parlay with them, because obviously Tyranids bigger threat, so that was very interesting to see them actually working together. I don't know what other races, if the Imperium has done that with any other races. I'm sure there's been, obviously not many times, but I'm sure there's probably been like some other times that stuff like that has happened. Have they ever done it with like Eldar? Eldar I can kind of see. I could kind of see Imperium and Eldar forming like a temporary truce to, like apparently in this one here, Blood Angels and Necrons teamed up to fight the Tyranids, because obviously Tyranids being a much bigger threat, and they don't care. They'll go after both. I mean, they wipe out one, then the other side is kind of screwed because now no one else is helping them. So, I could see Eldar doing something like that. Tau possibly. To take out whatever the bigger threat is, if it's Tyranids or if it's an Orc invasion, it's best to just team up. But that is very cool that they teamed up for that. God, I'm kind of surprised that they would be terrified of those. I mean, if anything, I'd be more terrified of like demons and chaos, and I think that'd be just way more terrifying to me. I mean, just imagine seeing like a giant, like multi-headed demon or something like that, or like, oh look, here comes a Chaos Space Marine with like a flayed, skinless guardsman that's like still alive and like attached to like his shoulder pads or something like that. That's still like writhing in pain, something like that. I'd be a little bit more terrified than that. A mechanical robot, yeah, terrifying. I kind of think a demon would have, something a little bit more. Dark Eldar's up there too, Look at my new fleshy head. It's still moaning. I don't know about that one,
Morale issue.
That is actually a pretty badass and dark picture. Like this right here, that is pretty dark. He's got the las pistol right underneath his right underneath there. Look at, you can even see like the tears in his eyes, because you can see that the part of the dirt on his face that's kind of washed away from the tears, and you can see the laser. Like that is dark. I mean, yes, their Necron weaponry, yeah, can just just completely get rid of you, but I don't know. I just kind of figure demons would be on my top of poopy pants scariness, right behind Dark Eldar. I don't know. Dark Eldar, Chaos, Dark Eldar. Either way, those two are probably like top of the scariest part. Sisters of Battle, no surprise, they'd be the same as Space Marines. New threat, new enemy, must purge. Mechanicus, obviously. Interesting new things. New toys. What are these? All sorts of new stuff to learn about. Eldar was very interesting. I guess they're more of, what was it, competition? I guess Eldar really pose a threat because they are pretty advanced as well. Makes sense with Dark Eldar, can't really take these things as slaves. What are we supposed to do? I'm gonna pull a finger out of your joint, your mechanical joint socket. Didn't you feel that? No. So can't really take Necrons as slaves. So yeah, that doesn't help them at all. I think Tau and Necrons would be a very interesting battle to see. I mean, Tau has pretty advanced weaponry, and so do Necrons. So that would be a very interesting battle. I mean, obviously, once they get into close combat, then yeah, not going to end well for the Tau. But I think just seeing like a shooting battle between these two, I don't know, that'd be very interesting. Orcs, kind of as you would expect, new thing to smash. Yeah, kind of understandable with the Tyranids. Hey, we can't really like eat these things. We can't absorb their biomass. They got weapons that just completely obliterate enemies, so there's like nothing left to them. So we can't even eat our own. So that they don't use the warp or anything. So yeah, kind of makes sense for them to really want to ignore them. And then, yeah, Chaos, that's another thing. I had no idea Necrons were so extremely powerful. Like, even against demons and stuff like that. Like, obviously you can't corrupt them. They're just walking robots, you know, so it's not like you could turn them to chaos or anything like that. There's nothing you could do. And then, of course, their deatomizing weapons can just poof, away you go. Yeah, I still like this picture here. I like this Necron just grabbing this bloodletter, just right in the face as he's like grabbing his arm. It's just like, I just can't get over that. I think that's pretty cool. Although, probably gonna hurt like hell. Just imagine metal hand just ripping your face off. But yeah, so there we go. There is how the galaxy reacted to the awakening of the Necrons. I really wish I got a chance to play them. It is what it is. Kind of, I guess I wish I jumped the board a little sooner so I could have, played them and stuff like that. But kind of too bad. They were very interesting. Nobody really played them, so I always like to play armies that like nobody else like plays. Like everybody plays like, at the store there was a lot of like Space Marine players and Chaos Space Marine players and Eldar players. And then a little bit of like, all the other armies and stuff like that, but nobody really played Necrons. I think we had like one Necron player and he used to come in like very rarely and stuff, so I always like to play like that army that like nobody else is like really playing, you know what I mean? Instead of like being like one of the other like tens of people all playing like Space Marines. Oh, mine are just painted this color, yours are painted this color, the same exact thing. So it is what it is though. Oh well. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. That'd be awesome. Remember, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description box below. And of course, if there's any other videos you want me to watch, any other topics you want me to watch, leave a comment or a link down below in the comment section. And like I said, I'll try to do a video on it. As I said, holidays are coming. I'm going to get busier at work, so doing videos might be a little bit of a challenge, but when I can do videos, I'll do those requests. So anyways, stick around, more videos are on the way, and I will see you guys next time.